Anyway, so yeah, the song, Take a Minute by Tom Harris. If you haven't heard it yet, it's on Spotify, obviously, it's on Tom's Bandcamp. Go and listen to it first, because I'm not going to be able to play it here. I'm going to be looking at the different elements of the song, but I'm not going to play it in full. And, I'll try and be concise, but I don't want to edit myself too much. I tend to just go and ramble on about things, don't really script anything, so that's just part of this as well. So yeah, got some notes here actually. The song was so good, thought straight away, even though I heard it acoustically, Tom's range, he starts kind of low, ends up going full voice and with some falsetto stuff in the middle. So it's quite a lot of dynamic, it's sometimes intimate. He's painting pictures that are quite detail focused, giving you information about situations. So it's quite intimate, brings you in. Then also are some bigger concepts in the songs. I thought it would help to have an arrangement that had that scope for contrasting those up close moments. So having sounds that were up close and dry and cozy sounding, and then contrasting those with more atmospheric elements and that were more grand, big, widescreen, epic. So the brief was always to use traditional instrumentation, guitars, bass, drums, vocals. And Tom writes on this old nylon string that he's been writing on for years, so he had written the song in that way, so brought that over with him, all the way from Argentina to Brighton. And my goal was to make it feel like a collection of musicians, and maybe imagining them in a nice Nashville studio with rugs and lamps and just in the pocket, subtle, classy, and yeah, that was the vibe in my head. And obviously Tom doesn't have a band, so I wanted to fake that basically. Yeah, so we actually did that, and then Tom later on in the process introduced a choir. He sings in a choir, a really amazing choir, and I did a choir arrangement just off the cuff using a plugin, a Spitfire plugin I think, and just as an idea, and I did the arrangement, sent it to Tom, and he was like, I could get a real choir to do that. And so I sent all the parts, and then amazing, it came back and he'd recorded 5 parts and loads. It was great. It was a proper posh choir studio session. That added, and then one of his friends plays cornet, and that went on, lended it a really somber, melancholy tone to it. So those elements really brought a lot to the table. And I don't want to give the impression that I'm explaining this, if I explain this as if it's some kind of well thought out structured thing, I planned it all out, I'm going to do this, it's not really how it happens. The only thing that we really planned is we discussed the overall feel and some references, but the choosing of the sounds and the guitars and everything just happens quite instinctively and quite naturally and quite quickly actually in terms of the recording. And then it was a sort of editing process, and that's important because I think sometimes doing production walkthroughs, it's and then we did this and it was all planned out and we're geniuses.